Welcome back to the Dry Fire Journal. This is day 294, and it is Sunday. Today is July 23rd. I think I got that right. It's almost 6 a.m. Central Time, and I'm going to be going today with my oldest son to the church that he is a part of, and get to spend the whole day with him and watching him do what he does with music and tech stuff, which is really fun. Large church, thousands of people will be there today. And anytime I think about going into any environment like that, whether it's a church or a sporting event or a movie theater, anytime there's a large crowd, there are a few things that I make sure that I do before I go. Primarily, number one, making sure my light is fully charged and good to go. Super important to have one of those in case of a power outage. I always like to make sure that my palm is the way I want it to be. One thing about palm that I find that I have to maintain is making sure that the nozzle for the spray is aligned with the pocket clip, because that is my tactile front sight. As it comes out of my pocket, wherever I feel this, I know is where the spray is going to go. And because the way these are designed, which is really genius, this can come off so that you can add on different clips. So I need to because it can come off, it can also slide. So I want to make sure that is the way that I want it to be. And I make sure that it goes back in my pocket in the exact same spot in my pocket, so that everything kind of reaches, my left hand reaches to where I want it to go without having to think about it. The next thing I want to do is several draws from the holster just to make sure my mechanics are working. Now, I am fortunate in that I tend to wear the same thing every day. If you watch this video series all the time, you're aware that I'm typically wearing a black polo, and even more than that, I'm typically wearing the same exact style or cut of tactical 511 pant every day, just because I own a lot of them and they're comfortable, and everything goes where it should go. I know where my phone is. I know where my palm, where my light is. My Wilderness tactical gun belt keeps my gun exactly where it should be. But something to think about: do you dry fire anytime you have a wardrobe change? So if my son were a part of a church where, a suit, tie, coat was really the order of the day, I would need to dry fire for quite a while, because that is not my normal clothing. If you carry a different gun because it's maybe more concealable, when you go out on the town, do you dry fire with that before you leave the house? Just a couple of things to consider. So I don't have a timer running this morning because my parents, who are getting older, are sleeping just across this wall. And so I'm not going to try to wake them up at 6 a.m. So I don't have a timer to run. I don't have targets because I'm not in my own home. So I'm simply going to do some very basic drawing work, not trying to go fast, just making sure that I can do all the things that I need to do in order to get the job done. And before I go any further and press trigger, I want to show you that I have nothing in the chamber and nothing in the magazine well. So I want to do some basic work to make sure I can get on my gun without a lot of this. And it simply looks like this. That draw was awful because I'm trying to talk at the same time. So should look something like this. I should be able to very consistently place my dot where it should go. Okay, I'm giving myself a little bit of slack because it's early. My body's not adjusted to the 2-hour time zone advance, and I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. So I need to focus myself And maybe you need to give yourself some of these moments too in dry fire. Okay. I want it to look like this. Ooh, I didn't like that grip. Because of the environment that I'm going to, again, large church, I need to make sure that I can get my weapon light on, make sure that my battery is the way I want it to be, and do a few of these with some motion, just making sure that everything is as I would like it. I need to do a couple of these, make sure I remember that I want to look, assess, and do it again from the other direction, reminding myself that I want to look, assess, and I might need to, in a, again, large church environment, I may need to make some lateral steps because the way the seating's arranged. So I'm going to do just a couple of those. Again, looking, moving, then drawing. Didn't go the way I wanted it to, but I've got the basic idea. Lastly, a couple of one-handed. If you've watched a lot of the videos, you know why I'm canting a little bit. And I'll try it straight up and down as well. I didn't like that trigger. I'm trying it again. Notice that as I'm going to the gun, I'm using one hand to do so. Not that you can see all of that, but last thing I do, transition to my sports side, because there might be a reason why I do that. Because I have done so many different repetitions, I always come back at the very end and do everything one more time, which is just a handful of draws. And do one more. Just a handful, and then one more time in reverse order. My holster is as I want it to be. My claw is tight. Belt is good. Light is good. Palm is good. My Wilderness Tactical IFAK kit on my ankle is good to go. I double checked that before I started filming. And now I know my gear is as I want it to be. I know that I have reminded myself of just a few things before I go and have a great day with my family, and just something to consider. Now, this is how I prep to go to a large environment where there's going to be a big crowd. What are the things you think about, and what are the things you work on before you go? I don't know how long this has taken me, maybe 5, maybe 6 minutes, and I feel like I'm mentally and equipment-wise better prepared because I spent the time doing what I'm doing, especially because it's early in the morning. So give this some thought. Maybe let me know what you do, and I'll see you tomorrow.